So now all of that, mechanism, the underlying base knowledge about AI, how it can be used for some real world materialistic use case. So here I have some examples of using AI in financial reporting. I don't know how much you hear it. I live in India and I hear it a lot. You go to a bank in the month of March and you give them some very tedious task that, hey, I have this account and then there's this penalty and I want to fight about that and etc. They're like, sir, we are in the closing month. We have a lot of work. If this is not urgent, can we park it? So closing for a financial institution is such a big thing. It's an every year and sometimes every quarter activity. And that takes a lot of efforts because you're filing some documents with regulators. Some of the actions are irreversible. Some of the actions will penalize you a lot if you mess up. An assistant there will be very, very helpful. And AI is your go-to assistant there. Another example, anomaly detection. I already gave you an example of anomaly detection. If I make a suspicious transaction from my credit card, it's going to be flagged. The amount of suspiciousness will decide that will it be blocked or not. So the idea behind this is if my credit card gets stolen and somebody takes this card and go to a jewelry shop and buy a jewelry worth, let's say $500, it will be blocked, even though $500 is less than the limit that I possess. But that is not my usual behavior. I don't usually buy jewelry from jewelry shops. If I do, then that is my regular behavior. Then it should not be blocked. But if I use it for car fuels, for groceries, for um, day-to-day errands, and then I'm not buying jewelries, I'm not buying art pieces, I'm not buying something expensive, that is an anomaly that can be detected by an AI system as well as a human, but then you can't scale a team of humans to that extent. Dynamic reporting. So we don't need static PDFs. Power BI and Tableau and a lot of dashboarding systems are coming up where AI is jumping in that. I am not a Power BI expert. I know it a little bit, but let's say I don't know anything about Power BI. I'm a sales professional. All I do, all I did my entire life is sales. Now suddenly my company promoted me to become a manager where I am looking at data of 100 people who are in my team. And I don't know how to deal with such a huge quantity of data. I never created a dashboard. So one option, the old option is I will hire a data analyst or somebody like that. And then that person will bring the technical abilities that I need. I have to convey my ask. I have to wait for the person to do this thing. The second option is there are a lot of AI tools. I'll go to one of them. I'll say, hey, this is my data. These are my asks. These are 5 important parameters I want to see. Give me a dashboard. And it will give you a dashboard like you can see at the bottom of the screen, and an even much more enhanced version of that. If you want to see which tools are there like this, so one of the most important tool in this category is Copilot. Have a look at what Copilot is. It's a Microsoft product. Okay, next slide, please, Dean. Thank you. Another use case, compliance, risk monitoring. If you are working in a financial organization, probably that organization is under huge amount of compliance, and there are more than one regulatory body. For example, in India, we have a regulatory body for banks. It's there in almost every country. We have a regulatory body for stock and exchange, for stock and mutual funds and everything, equity. We have a regulatory body for insurance. We have a regulatory body for P2P lending. And then typically one financial organization do deal with all of these 4 areas, the top financial organization. It's very tough to stay up to date with all of the compliances and they are changing continuously and then having a risk score attached to your infrastructure. What if you have a team of 100 people who are only responsible for doing this? Every day morning they come up and they see, is there a new compliance documentation? If yes, are we following that very closely? If not, then what changes we can make and what is the deadline? Now just imagine these 100 people are replaced by AI software, which is doing this thing. And this actually is happening. Compliance is not just there in finance, It's across a lot of different industries, including mine. When I'm educating, if I am associated with AI certs have their policies like my camera needs to be on, my tone of words needs to be this. I need to start my presentation like this. This is a miniature form of compliance, which is good. Now, how would they monitor if I'm following it or not? Probably they will have somebody who's always monitoring my sessions, which is very expensive, which is not scalable, or they have an AI tool which understands those compliance rules. And every time I'm not following it, there is a flag that, hey, we found this suspicious. You should look at it. And then somebody can look at it. So very similarly, financial organizations are also under a huge degree of compliance regulations. It's not just for the organization that AI is helpful, it's also for the regulator. Because if you have 500 financial organizations, how would you do the audit of every organization? You might do it every quarter or every year, but then can you maintain a day-to-day visibility? That's where AI comes in picture. Next slide, please, Dean. So the next slide is about document processing. Documentations are everywhere. Right? This presentation is also a document. And there are lots and lots of document everybody deals with in day-to-day life. What we struggle with is when we need to review documents for a particular question, we don't know which document holds answer to this question. If we know which document holds answer to this question, we don't know where is that answer. So we need to review the entire document. If I got a question and I got the document and I got the answer, I don't know if there is any other document which is contradicting that answer. So it's such a complicated process to deal with document. If you have numerical tabular data, you have a language to work with it, which is called as SQL. But if you have PDF files, there is no language. The only language there you can use is natural language, like English or any other regional language. Today, not just today, since a long time, AI is bringing so much in the domain of document processing, including intelligent OCR. I have handwritten text. I can digitize it very easily. A classic example of that is handwritten bills. I deliver training. To deliver the trainings, I do travel a lot. And at the end of my travel, at the end of the tour, I will submit all the bills to my company. The one option is I will go to a portal and I'll say, hey, this bill number, this vendor number, I had a coffee and I paid $5, and this is the date, and this is the tax, etc. There can be a huge amount of human error possible in that. Other option is I just click the pictures and there is a tool which is going to convert all of this information directly into a tabular structured format. That is intelligent OCR. That's very powerful. I can use AI for contract analysis or compliance document analysis. So you have a long document, contracts, NDAs are really very long, and you can analyze what typical questions they are answering. Is my organization under the umbrella of this contract or not, etc. I can use AI to clean the data, remove duplicate files, update the new files, update the old files with new files, etc., etc., by processing the text in them without having almost zero human intervention. There can be human intervention, but that can be very, very less.